That's the fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it, but don't lie or kept to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called and we said we never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without a question, solid. You know what I'm saying? Solid.
You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him fight going
I wouldn't do nothing crazy. He looked at excellent. Hey, Walaikum Salam. He looked at excellent.
Is there anybody the most from
No, I'm trying to figure out what their team gonna do next. I want to see what's
He's
next.
talking about 160, coach. I mean, the only thing down there is maybe like a middleweight tournament, 2 fights undisputed, something like that. But if not that, then what for Bud?
Who?
Well, they were talking about Jerron Ennis going to 160. Possibly Jerron Ennis going to 160.
If he go to 160, then we got another mega fight.
You think that's a mega fight?
I don't know that yet, but I'm saying in the boxing fans that know boxing would say that's another mega fight.
When reports surfaced that Terence "Bud" Crawford and Yaron "Boots" Ennis were finally engaging in serious negotiations, the boxing world came to a halt. This wasn't a dream matchup fans casually debated online. This was the closest we've ever come to seeing the fight people had demanded ever since. Crawford shocked the sport by moving up to 168 and stripping Canelo Alvarez of every belt. Now, multiple insiders claim the figures being discussed are close to $300 million, a sum reserved only for fights that define an era, the kind where the entire world tunes in. Today, we're breaking down why this matchup has the boxing world buzzing, how we reached this moment, how Boots earned the label of the next Crawford, and why this could be the toughest challenge of Bud's career. Let's dive in. When Terence Crawford entered the super middleweight division, many believed he had gone too far. Critics said he was too small, too slow, too old. Canelo was boxing's biggest star, seen as too strong, too seasoned, too powerful. But Crawford didn't just beat him, he dominated him, making it look as though he had belonged at 168 for his entire career.
Amazing, he a legend, man. 3-time undisputed. You got to take his hat up to him. He went up 2 weight classes and dominated a legend. So my hat goes up to him, and he's all respect.
Do you think Canelo is the same guy that he was before? He think he's completely falling off?
Canelo's Canelo. You know what I mean? Canelo's a legend, bro. You gotta. At the end of the day, whatever happened that fight, that don't diminish his career, his image. You feel me? I think right now, he's at that time where he took an L, but he ain't take an L, you know what I'm saying? He got paid and he a legend at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So if he want to walk over in the sunset right now, his last name is in the cement, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the greatest Mexican fighters in the world.
I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but Crawford does have all the titles. You're a really big name. He's kind of in your way right now a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that a fight where you're just like, if he hit, get it on for sure?
Not for sure. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? We don't duck no smoke. So, right now, I'm focused on my climax fight, you know what I'm saying? I gotta put my head down, whatever happened in my last fight is cool, but that ain't dim my light at all, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a superstar, I'm still a star, I'm still the king of New York, man, I'm fly, I look good, I fight good, man, so, I'm just...
That night, Crawford did what fighters rarely do anymore. He stunned the world without being the bigger man, without any weight advantage, and without relying on catchweights or tune-ups. He simply showed up and defeated the division's top fighter clean and decisively.
Think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford.
After that, the issue was clear. Crawford had no one left. He had already beaten Errol Spence, dismantled the best Mexican fighter of the decade, unified at 140, conquered 147, and then taken over 168. It felt finished. There were no true challengers left until one name kept resurfacing: Yaron "Boots" Ennis. The undefeated force tearing through everyone put in front of him.
Get him in the fights. We've got to get him undisputed at 47. He can move up. I want to see him fight Terence Crawford. You know, I mean, that's a fight that's been talked about, and Terence will only take that fight if it's big enough. I back Jaron "Boots" Ennis against anybody. And what a joy to be guided.
This isn't a new concept. For years, fans called for Crawford versus Ennis when both competed at 147. The IBF even mandated the fight in 2023, but it never materialized. Some claim Crawford was avoiding a young, hungry contender, while Crawford argued that Boots had opportunities to make it happen and didn't seize them. Once Bud moved on, many thought the chance was lost forever. But then Boots improved dramatically, and suddenly it became clear. He wasn't just winning, he was starting to resemble Crawford at 28.
He's 160. I think he could go there now and be in his absolute prime. He'll be tight at 54 tomorrow. People think that when you move up in weight, all of a sudden it's easy. He's massive. He will 100% go to 168 at some point. So right there, you've got a 4-division championship. But I don't want him just to be a 4-division champion. I want him to be undisputed in those, because I think he's the natural progressor to Terence Crawford. I think he's of the same kind of ability as Terence Crawford. And what Crawford's done is amazing, because he was undisputed in 3 weight classes.
Yeah, you got to prove it in a ring.
Of course you have. It's very well me saying it. But you've got to prove it in a ring. But you've also, people know in boxing. So everyone's always known how good Crawford was. But it took him a long time to get the opportunities to prove it. We've got to make sure that we're not 36, 37, 38 when we're getting those opportunities. Because if Boots can get it at 29, 30, he's going to be around 34, 35. He lives a clean life. Do you know what I mean? I think this guy, I truly believe, I think he could be one of the...
Analysts began labeling him the new Crawford, and promoters started reigniting talks of the matchup. When Eddie Hearn stated that there was only one realistic opponent who could truly challenge Crawford, the discussion blew up. Hearn said, "Name a fight besides Ennis versus Crawford that you actually want to see." Boots isn't past his prime. He isn't injured. He isn't worn down from 80 fights. And he's 10 years younger than Crawford. In other words, if Bud is seeking a legitimate challenge, he has to face Boots.
I feel that Jaron Ennis against Terence Crawford is the fight. And that could be at 54, it can be at 60. Now, obviously, we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great, crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy. And Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, that he's still very much in his...
Both fighters have been sending signals for months. Ennis has openly acknowledged Crawford as the face of boxing after his win over Canelo, even calling Bud one of the greatest fighters ever. Yet at the same time, he has made it clear that he believes he is the one destined to defeat him.
And by the way, there's this brother coming up, Molly. His name is Boots Ennis. This brother's special. You don't want to go in the ring against after that beating. Molly, it was so bad. I swear to y'all, I am not exaggerating. Yeah. You know how.
Boots admitted that Crawford is the face of boxing at the moment, but his tone suggested a challenge. Enjoy it while it lasts. Meanwhile, Crawford has been both playful and precise, congratulating Boots after each victory and recognizing his talent.
Now you got Boots Ennis in your weight class.
Definitely.
What do you think about him?
Oh, he's very, very talented. He's unproven, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
The eye test tells it all. He's got the it, but we haven't seen him against any elite fighter. We've never seen him tested. So until then, we just going to keep saying, oh, Boots, 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 until he meet that fighter that's going to test him.
Is that a fight that you would be interested in?
Nah, it just don't make sense right now in my career. Like I said, especially money-wise, don't nobody really know Boots, but
right.
I'm looking for bigger and better challenges like Canelo.
You're just looking for the big ones.
Yeah.
The big fish.
Yeah.
Fish fry.
Definitely. Definitely. Them the guys I'm looking for.
But whenever someone asked if Boots could beat him, Crawford would smirk and say, "Great things come to those who wait." Translation: you're not ready. Yet the moment Bud defeated Canelo, everything shifted. Boots immediately called him out. Promoters began running the numbers, and networks started holding quiet meetings.
Crawford, that would be one of the biggest fights in history, man. You know what I mean? When it comes to styles, they both have beautiful styles, man. You know what I mean? They both switch, and they both can do it all. You know what I mean? Crawford will fight you. He just showed everybody he'll fight you too. Boots will fight you inside and outside. When you got heart like that, that's what you do. And Crawford does the same thing.
Names like Eddie Hearn, Tim Bradley, and Sean Porter started saying one thing repeatedly: this is the only fight left for Bud. But why are boxing experts and pundits calling Boots the new Crawford? There's a reason behind that claim.
Who they are cancel out each other as far as height. You know, they both switch hitters, lift, and everything. All of that cancels out each other. So they are literally the same people pretty much. The only difference is Crawford done been in the big stage against big fighters so many times. And also with age, he didn't beat up his body, so his age is actually good. He got the grown man strength. He not just grown man strength, but he built on top of that. Like look at him at 135. He was a little scrawny dude. He wasn't a big dude. Now look at him. He ripped up everything. He's strong. So I feel like he got everything, all the experience, all the knowledge. So I gotta go with Crawford.
Boots is one of the few fighters with the same complete skill set as Crawford. He can switch from orthodox to southpaw without losing power, counters with exceptional timing, and lands punches you don't see coming. He's bigger, younger, longer, and hits hard enough to keep anyone honest.
Who punches harder, Jaron Boots Ennis or Terence Bud Crawford? Jaron's shots seem to be more thumping and more like a whip, where they come out kind of wider. Jaron also twists his whole body behind each shot, gets a lot of leverage. Terence Bud Crawford's shots seem to be shorter, and he gets more of that shoulder snap. Terence Bud Crawford's punches are also placed very strategically. He uses his opponent's momentum against them and catches them coming in and has them leaning right into that shoulder shot. Remember, the punch going from point A to point B in the shortest distance is the goal that's trying to be achieved in all fighters. Mike Tyson made that an art. Boots and Bud both have a lot of knockouts, but who do you guys think hits harder between the two of them? Tell me in the comments.
Boots also possesses something fighters rarely have at 28. Patience. And that's where the hype turned real. Crawford is aging while Boots is entering his prime. That's the narrative. Boots represents the next era. Crawford represents the greatest of this one.
Better than Floyd Mayweather?
To me, he is, because he challenges himself. So for me, don't get me wrong, Floyd ain't no bad fighter. Floyd is a hell of a sharp fighter, but I ain't gonna say he's a better fighter. I'm gonna say I just can appreciate it more because he challenges himself. You understand me? Floyd never challenged himself. So if you tell me who I want to see, Floyd or Terence, I want to see Terence, because Terence gonna challenge himself. Floyd may be a better fighter because Floyd is slick and Floyd really can fight. People know I don't underestimate Floyd's boxing ability. Floyd has great boxing ability. Floyd is one of the best ever, but Floyd just never challenges.
Crawford doesn't need money, belts, or validation. He's already become undisputed in 3 weight classes, defeated the 2 biggest fighters of his generation, and proven the world wrong. So why fight Boots? One word: legacy. Crawford wants to retire as the undisputed greatest boxer of the modern era, not just compared to Canelo or Spence, but compared to everyone. Critics point out that he's never faced a young lion at his peak, and Boots perfectly fills that gap. If Bud beats him, he shuts down the sport entirely, retiring above Mayweather, Pacquiao, and Canelo. For many fans and analysts, that's why this fight makes perfect sense.
So
I'm never really gonna get my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude.
Boots is in the perfect position, undefeated, young, explosive, and finally drawing attention. But he needs a marquee name, a career-defining win. If he beats Crawford, he becomes the face of boxing instantly. Not next year, not after a few more victories, but immediately. Unlike most challengers, Boots isn't pursuing Crawford out of desperation. He genuinely believes he's better. Every great fighter faces a moment when the next generation rises to challenge them. This could be Crawford's moment. The biggest risk? Timing. Crawford is 38. Boots is 28.
Here in Philadelphia, Boots Ennis, Eddie, a couple other people, you know, called Boots the natural successor to Terence Crawford, and obviously I know your relationship with him. Do you feel that high on Boots as well, or?
Hell yeah, I think Boots is a hell of a fighter. I don't know about the natural sensation, whatever that is to Terence Crawford. I think Boots is his own fighter, Terence is his own fighter, but I think they both hell of a fighters. I've been around Boots for years, and he's the truth.
And last one for me, I'll let you go. Obviously, everyone's talking about a potential fight, you and Teofimo. Is there any updates to that? I mean, is that something that you are looking towards?
Yeah, that's the fight I want. So, ain't no updates. I don't speak business until the deal is done. So, nothing to talk about.
Crawford has been through wars. Boots hasn't taken serious damage. Crawford has faced the best, while Boots has beaten solid champions, but not legends. That sets the stage for a perfect storm. Crawford brings experience, Boots brings youth, making the fight unpredictable. Boots can match Bud's style, while Bud can expose Boots' inexperience. Both can hurt each other and outthink each other. This isn't Canelo, whose body was breaking down, or Spence. Coming off a car crash, this is a fresh, hungry, prime monster aiming for the throne. Fans are divided. Half believe Crawford dominates Boots. The other half think Boots is too big, too fast, too young. Some see it as Crawford's last great fight. Others view it as Boots' coming out party.
Do you think Ennis is the guy to give Crawford like trouble in there if they were ever to fight?
I think that would be a great fight. You know, the young hungry lion versus the legend. That would be a hell of a fight. Maybe 160. If it's a vacant title at 160, I think that they can make that happen for sure. I think it just has to make sense for both parties. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think if there's a vacant belt, Crawford's gonna want to be 6th division champion, and then he'll make Ennis move up to 160. I think they could do it at 160.
But everyone agrees on one thing: this is the best matchup in American boxing. Two elite fighters at the peak of their abilities.
That's a good fight. That's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. Probably at middleweight or something. That's like a vacant belt. That's definitely up there. That's definitely a big fight. Probably Shakur and Tank too, maybe. That's like right I'm seeing. But yeah, that's that. You might not be lying. That might be the biggest fight.
Multiple insiders report that the negotiations are serious. Boots promoter Eddie Hearn is pushing hard. Netflix is interested. Both camps are attracted to the money. And Crawford hasn't rejected the idea.
Against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford. We just got to go out and get the fights to show how.
Boots said this week he's willing to fight Bud at any weight, meaning he's all in. Crawford has told reporters he wants one final massive fight before retiring. If this bout happens, it would be the most important American boxing match since Mayweather versus Pacquiao only this time. Both fighters are in their prime. So here's the question. Who wins, the legend with perfect timing or the young monster taking over the sport? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video.